Hello and welcome. Today in this lesson, we are talking about why you must learn to make your own MCAT schedule. And this is really important because the MCAT is a totally different beast. Maybe in the past you have taken the ACT or the SAT to get accepted into college, but the MCAT is really an exam that you cannot cram for. You really have to figure out how you learn best and what study methods and schedules are going to work for you. So, the first thing I want to address is why do pre-made schedules not work? I think that pre-made schedules are a really good intention for people out there to help others, to get people on track or give them a good idea of what might be helpful and what might not. But all of these templated schedules really work for certain people and not for others. So the key point here is that one, everyone has a different starting point. This is important because not all pre-meds have the same strengths and weaknesses, and generic schedules don't really account for that. Maybe you had a really strong pre-med undergrad and you took all of the courses and you got a good grasp of the content, and maybe you are an applicant that's non-traditional, that hasn't looked at the material in a long time. So that's why these pre-med schedules aren't amazing for every single person. Some students might need to focus more on physics, others might struggle on cars, and that's why your plan should reflect you and your personal strengths and weaknesses. Number two is that life commitments and schedules really, again, vary person to person. So some of you might be working full time, part time, taking classes full time, part time, or balancing so many other responsibilities, whether it's relationships, partners, children, extracurriculars. So that's why that trying to follow someone else's template with a rigid schedule, with all of these things put in there already, and you're trying to understand, well, what the heck does this even mean? It really doesn't work. It just starts becoming overwhelming, and the more you aren't able to follow the schedule, the more you get stressed out. But that schedule wasn't going to work for you in the first place. And number three, I'd like to say that it doesn't teach you how to study. This means that pre-made schedules really focus on what to do. They tell you, here's this resource, you should do it on day one. Here's that resource, you should do it on day two. And this is exactly what you should do every single day. But this doesn't really show you or allow you to figure out how you learn best, what are really good study techniques and tactics. And it doesn't allow you to really pivot and be able to improve and adjust based on your current performance and what your strengths and weaknesses might be in this particular point in time. So overall, I'm just going to say that pre-made templates, I think, are made with good intentions, but are not made for everyone. And that's why our goal here is to really teach you how to build your own system. I want for us to focus on the future and how this skill of building your own study system is going to prepare you for medical school and beyond. So the first thing to remember is the MCAT is not going to be your last exam. It is going to be first of many. So it's not the last. You will have to take step one during your, end of second year of medical school. Then you have to take step two at the end of third year of medical school. And when you are in residency, you will have to take step three. And then when you are applying for your physician license after you finish residency, you will have to take a board exam. And so if you don't take the time to figure out now how to build a study system for the MCAT, then you are just like doing yourself a disservice because you're not allowing yourself to learn these skills to then allow you to prepare for step one, step two, step three. This is really going to mirror kind of the skills and the systems that you need to build for your medical school future. And med school isn't going to be about, being told what to do. It's about knowing how to really self-study sufficiently and how to figure out what your best learning style is. And that's why through this process, you are going to learn how to self assess and adapt. And so our goal is instead of providing you, a checklist to follow, it's more so to give you the intuitive skill set to know when to focus on your weaknesses, how to pivot, what strategies are available. And this skill will make your life much easier when you're prepping for the MCAT in the next few months and for your board exams later. So with that being said, let's kick it off. Our goal is to help you build the skill set of building your own study system. And this can be applied, yes, to standardized exams like the MCAT or the STEP exams, but also just for your med school exams. As you start, you will have to really adapt and learn to pivot in terms of studying for different classes. The way you study biochemistry is totally different than the way you study for microbiology, which is totally different than the way you study for anatomy. So this is an overall good skill set, and we really hope that we can equip you with all of the things you need to really succeed in the future.